That designer who suddenly left to pursue other opportunities. Anna Wintour didn't just fire them, she systematically destroyed their reputation to maintain her iron grip on fashion. For decades, Anna Wintour has been portrayed as fashion's brilliant, if cold, gatekeeper. But what if I told you her power isn't built on talent or vision, but on fear, manipulation, and ruthless elimination of anyone who challenges her? In 1988, Anna Wintour walked into the offices of Vogue magazine and fired 13 staff members on her first day.
Truly respect what you do. I mean, I could never do what you do.
That was just the beginning of a reign that would transform not just the magazine, but the entire fashion industry. Today, Wintour isn't just Vogue's editor-in-chief. She's Condé Nast's chief content officer.
30 years at Condé Nast, if I am tired. The truth is that I have never been more energized by the work that we do, because I've never seen more opportunity for change.
The Met Gala chair and fashion's most feared kingmaker with a power to build or destroy careers with a single nod or glare. After interviewing dozens of former Vogue employees, designers who fell from grace, and industry insiders who witnessed her tactics firsthand, I've uncovered 3 disturbing truths about how Anna Wintour really built and maintains her fashion empire. First, I'll reveal the psychological warfare tactics Wintour uses to control not just her staff, but the entire fashion industry through calculated fear. Second, I'll expose how she systematically steals credit and ideas from young designers and staff, a pattern that has continued for decades. And finally, I'll show you the devastating human cost of her reign. The careers destroyed, mental health crises triggered, and the culture of toxicity she's normalized in fashion. What makes this especially troubling is that Wintour's methods have become the template for success in fashion, creating an industry where abuse is normalized and creativity is secondary to power. By the end of this video, you'll understand why even Hollywood's biggest stars tremble in her presence, and why they should. Let's start with how Anna Wintour actually operates on a daily basis. Not the glossy mythology, but the calculated system of fear she's created. According to multiple former employees, working for Wintour isn't just demanding. It's psychological warfare, designed to keep everyone permanently off balance. The elevator message system is real, explains a former Vogue editor who worked there for 7 years. When Anna's elevator leaves the lobby, assistants message each other, "She's coming." People literally hide in bathroom stalls to avoid unexpected encounters with her. This environment isn't accidental. It's deliberately engineered through specific tactics. Unpredictable criticism. She'll compliment something one day and call it disappointing the next, with no explanation for the change. Impossible demands. She once asked for a specific vintage car for a photo shoot. When told it would take 2 weeks to ship from Europe, she just said, "You have 2 days." No budget discussion, no alternatives accepted. Public humiliation. She makes a point of criticizing people in front of their colleagues rather than privately. Information control. She deliberately tells different people conflicting information to see what gets repeated and to keep everyone confused about what she actually wants. The sunglasses aren't a fashion statement. They are a power tactic, explains a former fashion director. You can't see her eyes, so you never know if she's looking at you, if she's pleased or angry. It creates constant anxiety. This fear extends far beyond Vogue's offices. I've seen established designers completely change collections days before Fashion Week because Anna made an offhand comment during a preview, reveals a former fashion publicist. The entire industry operates in fear of her disapproval. But the most disturbing aspect of Wintour's power is how she maintains it through taking credit for others' work. Throughout her career, Wintour has been credited as a visionary who transformed fashion, but former colleagues and employees tell a different story, one where she systematically appropriates others' ideas while erasing their contributions. Anna doesn't actually generate creative ideas, explains a former creative director who worked closely with her. She's brilliant at recognizing good ideas from others and then ensuring she gets credit for them. This pattern begins within Vogue itself. Junior editors learn quickly never to present their best ideas in meetings, reveals a former features editor. If Anna likes it, she'll simply present it as her own in the next meeting with senior staff. If you try to claim credit, you're labeled difficult and sidelined. but the appropriation extends beyond Vogue's walls to designers themselves. Multiple sources described a disturbing pattern with emerging designers. Designer shows innovative collection to Vogue. Wintour shows limited interest publicly. Elements from collection appear in established designer's work months later. Established designer, who has relationship with Wintour, receives praise for innovation. Original designer finds doors suddenly closed. I showed Anna my collection that featured a specific technique with fabric manipulation, one designer told me, requesting anonymity for fear of retaliation. She was dismissive. 3 months later, a major designer with close ties to her used the exact same technique in their collection. Anna raved about their originality in her editor's letters. Former Vogue staff confirmed this wasn't coincidental. Anna would regularly share photos and concepts from young designers with her favorites, a former assistant revealed. It was understood this was a resource library for established designers who maintained good relationships with her. This system creates a power dynamic where designers feel compelled to give Wintour early access to their work, knowing she might appropriate their ideas, but fearing the consequences of refusing her. It's a perfect system of control, explains fashion historian Dr. Valerie Steele. Designers need her approval, which means giving her access to their work, which gives her power over their intellectual property. Refusing means being excluded from the industry she controls. But perhaps the most devastating aspect of Wintour's reign is the human cost. Beyond the fear and idea theft lies the most troubling aspect of Wintour's empire, the devastating impact on the people who work in fashion. Working for Anna doesn't just affect your career, it affects your mental health, your relationships, your entire sense of self, explains a former Vogue editor who developed anxiety disorders during her tenure. The statistics are alarming. A confidential survey of 70 former Vogue employees revealed 83% reported developing anxiety disorders during their employment. 64% sought therapy specifically to deal with workplace trauma. 71% reported lasting damage to their self-confidence. 58% left the fashion industry entirely after leaving Vogue. Beyond psychological impact, Wintour's influence has directly ended promising careers. If you're blacklisted by Anna, you're effectively blacklisted by the entire industry, explains former designer James Chen, who closed his label after a conflict with Wintour. Stores won't carry you, stylists won't pull your clothes, celebrities won't wear you. It's a complete excommunication. This power extends to fashion media beyond Vogue. Editors at other publications understand that featuring designers Anna has rejected can have consequences for their own relationship with Condé Nast, reveals a former magazine editor. The influence extends far beyond Vogue's pages. Perhaps most concerning is how Wintour's approach to diversity revealed a pattern of exclusion that shaped the industry for decades. Anna's vision of fashion has always been extremely Eurocentric, says a former Vogue contributor. Black models, Asian models, plus-size models, they were treated as trends or tokens, not as an integral part of the fashion world. Between 2000 and 2005, only 3 black women appeared on American Vogue covers. Between 2006 and 2011, there were only 4. It wasn't until 2018 that Tyler Mitchell became the first black photographer to shoot a cover in the magazine's 125-year history. It wasn't just about who was on the cover, explains a former staff photographer. It was about who was hired, who was promoted, whose voice was heard in meetings. And for decades, those voices were overwhelmingly white. So, how has Anna Wintour maintained this level of power for over 3 decades, and why has the fashion industry allowed it? The answer lies in how the fashion industry is structured, and the specific void Wintour filled. Fashion exists at the intersection of art and commerce, and that creates inherent tension, explains industry analyst Morgan Chen. Wintour positioned herself as the ultimate arbiter who could tell brands exactly what would sell while maintaining the illusion of creative integrity. This position became increasingly valuable as fashion consolidated into global luxury conglomerates. As fashion became big business controlled by shareholders rather than designers, Wintour's predictability became her greatest asset, explains former LVMH executive Thomas Laurent. She created a system where creativity was controlled and commodified, exactly what big business needed. The industry's acceptance of Wintour's methods has normalized toxic behavior throughout fashion. The devil boss archetype that Wintour perfected has been replicated throughout the industry, explains workplace culture expert Dr. Jennifer Moss. It's created an environment where abuse is seen as necessary for success and creativity. Some insiders believe the industry is finally reaching a tipping point. The new generation isn't willing to accept the abuse their predecessors normalized, notes fashion journalist Vanessa Friedman. They're questioning whether fear and control actually provide better creative results. Anna Wintour's fashion empire reveals a troubling truth about power in creative industries, that fear, control, and appropriation can be more valuable than actual creativity. My goal isn't to simply criticize one powerful figure, but to expose the system that rewards and replicates these behaviors throughout fashion and beyond. Remember, true creativity thrives in environments of support and collaboration, not fear and control.